Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So a few months ago I was contacted by Affordable Pet Test to see if I wanted to try their pet intolerance test on one of my dogs. I've had Caspian for over 6 years, and the entire time that I have had Caspian, I have had a lot of problems with his allergies. And so of course I said yes because I wanted to try out this product and, well, this test. I wanted to try out their services and see if it was going to help him in any way, help me deal with the problems that I've had with him. He's been on medications, he's seen specialists, we've taken him other places to see vets, and so I wanted to see how this would affect him. I think he was a good candidate for it. So over the last couple of months, I've kind of been going through this thing with him where, we got him tested, then we got the results. So I want to talk to you guys about how it affected his life. But before we get started, don't forget to subscribe to my channel because I do make a lot of animal videos. When I found out what Affordable Pet Test was, I was very intrigued. I really wanted to try it and learn more about it. I was somewhat skeptical, but it sounded really good, so I wanted to give it a try. So I received one of these packages, and it had all the information in it, and then it also had for me to be able to do the test with Caspian. I had to pull Caspian's hair out by the roots and then put it into a baggie that they provided and then ship it back to them. I got Caspian about 6 years ago, and I got him when I needed a service dog, and he had just completed his training. So we bonded really well. Everything was really great, but since day one, he had tons of issues with allergies. And so over the years, I've taken him to different vets. He's been on medications. We've tried different things. And we've learned to manage it to, get him to live comfortably with his allergies and still be able to work. So, it was kind of under control, but there was still these issues, and I don't like having to keep him on medications. So about a week later, I got the results from the test. It actually came in very quickly. It came into my email. And when we had taken Caspian to the vets, to the specialists that deal with dog allergies and stuff like that, they had come to the conclusion that Caspian's allergies were environmentally related. But based on the results of this test, it actually was a lot different. Now, this test is for intolerances, which is technically actually different than actual allergies. The symptoms are kind of the same, and actually most people would refer to intolerances as allergies. That's commonly what they're called, but in technical terms it's intolerance, not allergy, but in everyday use everybody calls it all allergies. So to try not to confuse you, to make it a little bit clearer, food allergies are very severe. They can be life-threatening. They're very, very serious. Food intolerances are not as bad. You're not going to necessarily die from a food intolerance. You're just going to have an upset stomach, heartburn, indigestion. You can have swelling, things like that, but it's not something that's going to be life-threatening. Food intolerances just make you feel very uncomfortable and very sick. So let's look over Caspian's results together. Okay, so for his results, it comes on your email when you get affordable testing, because this is actually for humans too. This is just the dog one. So it's all in a document and has each thing they're allergic to and the level. So again, this isn't exactly an allergy, it's an intolerance. So you can actually be more intolerant to one thing than another thing. Like, they can both give you indigestion and stuff, but certain things are going to be worse. So it's in different levels: level 3, level 2, and level 1. So level 3, of course, is something that's going to be really bad, really make you sick. Level 2, that's going to make you sick. Level 1 is kind of something that's like, if you don't eat it like very often, then it's okay. It's actually, you're going to be like okay if you just have it in your diet once in a while. But if there's something that's on there multiple times, like level 3, level 2, like it's repeated, then it's something you really should be taking out of your diet, or out of your dog's diet in this case. So it's level 3 wheat, tomato, which tomato, you shouldn't be giving your dogs tomato anyway. This is also supposed to be for humans, so it's going to test for more than just what the dog should actually be eating. But don't be feeding your dogs tomatoes. I'm surprised by how many people feed their dogs tomatoes. That's just going to make your dog sick regardless if they have an intolerance. Shellfish, that's another thing I wouldn't feed the dogs anyway. Pumpkin. I do feed the dogs pumpkin. Not often though, so I guess that's good. No pumpkin. Prunes, peas, leek, lamb liver. I was surprised by lamb liver because goat and lamb is Caspian's favorite food. So it was just the lamb liver though. So he can still eat lamb. Ginger, fennel, egg yolk. Egg yolk? I thought this one was really interesting because Caspian hates eggs. I try to put eggs in his food because eggs are good for them. It's a good source of protein. And I feed a lot of eggs to the dogs, but mainly the corgis because Caspian just hates it. So I'll try to only put it in his food once in a while. But yeah, so he's not supposed to be having eggs. Dill, cornflakes. I don't give him cornflakes, so that's good. Chicken. This is the one that I was like, oh my god. He eats a lot of chicken and he likes it. So I was really surprised by this. I was like, oh my god, chicken. And the chicken was actually on here multiple times. So he shouldn't be eating any chicken. Beef jerky, barley, avocado. You shouldn't be feeding your dogs avocado either. Barley, I have fed him before, but it takes too long to cook, so I actually stopped feeding barley, so I guess that was good. Turnip, turmeric. That one is also like, oh wow, because I do put that in the dog's food. It's really good for them to treat fleas and ticks naturally. It has a lot of other benefits, so that's something I've been using. So no more of that for him. Salt, raspberries, peas, paprika. So really allergic to peas. Cornflakes, coconut oil. I do use coconut oil in their food. Tomato, rosemary, omega-3 fatty acids. That one I thought was really strange because everybody's supposed to be able to eat omega-3 fatty acids, but it was a level 1. So I think just like, you know, not a daily basis, maybe like every other week or so type of thing. Probably also depends on what the omega-3 fatty acids are coming from. At least that's what I think. Of course, I am not somebody that works at the allergy testing place or anything like that, so my perspective on it might be wrong. Oatmeal. So oatmeal he does get a lot of. Let's see, lamb liver again, garlic. Garlic is also something I give the dogs. And garlic is something you're not supposed to give the dogs a lot of because it can be bad for them. But in certain amounts, garlic's actually very beneficial to dogs, has a lot of benefits. So that I'll have to be careful with too. But 2, at least it's just a level 1. So looking over this and considering his diet, the issue is definitely chicken, and then second would be eggs. This was really, really interesting. It was pretty crazy. Okay, let's look at the other one so that you get 2 tests back. So there's that, and then this one is for environmental allergies, and I was very surprised the list was really short. Wasp, rose, pigeons, pigeon dung, oak tree mice, horseflies, chicken dung. I also read that the intolerance test could also pick up on things that you've been too exposed to, you've been getting too much of. So chicken dung. You know, the dogs eat a lot of chicken poop. I don't know how to control that. Like, it's just, yeah. Although, you know, he actually doesn't eat poop like the corgis do. Stinging nettle, pigweed, leather, house dust. He's allergic to house dust, of course. Cotton, and pigeons. So I wonder if he is allergic to any of the other pets. I'm not sure that they would have all of that like available to test. Like they have the pigeons and the chicken dung. I guess he's just super allergic to anything having to do with chickens. So it's actually been a while since I've gotten this test back, and 8 weeks after I got the test back, I took chicken out of Caspian's diet completely. It said to kind of try to go through one thing at a time and see how the dog does. Eggs, sometimes I do feed him once in a while still, because I really think that it was the chicken that was affecting him, because I took out the chicken and right away there was a huge difference. And so I've tried giving him eggs and seeing how he does, and it seems like he's really good with that when it's not super often with the eggs. But the chicken completely out of his diet, and I've seen a huge improvement. So I'm going to tell you how I know that this actually did work. So when I took chicken out of Caspian's diet, I noticed a huge change in him, and it's because Caspian has this thing where when he goes outside almost on a daily basis, he eats grass and he throws it up. Now, of course, this is an allergy symptom. It's you can read about it that this will happen when the dog has an upset stomach or something like that. But every day he goes out there and he eats the grass and he throws up, and so one of the vets had told me that he might have actually formed a habit of doing it. So I've read a few articles about that, and saying that dogs can actually form a habit of going and eating grass every day and throwing up, like kind of a obsessive compulsive behavior for them. And so I did think that that's what it had become, because sometimes he wouldn't have other allergy symptoms and he'd be on his medication and he'd be doing good and he would still do that. And he seemed very obsessive with it. But since I took chicken out of his diet, the first 2 weeks after I got the test back, I took chicken out of his diet completely, and he completely stopped throwing up. I actually didn't change anything else with his diet besides just the chicken, and he did not throw up at all during that time. And since then, I've also been working with other foods that he eats often, like trying to space out oats more often, taking out the turmeric. But just with not having the chicken, there was this huge difference. And so he has not thrown up once. He's not gone out to eat grass once since I took chicken out of his diet. So it's really amazing how much change we got with this test. And so I have to admit that when I was doing this test, when I was putting it through, getting the results and all of that, I did wonder if it was kind of a scam. Sometimes when something seems a little too good to be true. And I also read a lot of other stuff that was very against it. So there's a lot you could argue with, but this just seems too big of a coincidence. That I've had this dog for years and he's thrown up grass constantly to where it became something that he did every single day, and all of a sudden it stopped, overnight. It's just completely gone. So to me that's not a coincidence. This test is accurate. And there's a lot of articles out there that says that the test isn't real, that you can only do something, a test like this through blood work. You can't do it through hair samples. And so I guess you could sit around and argue the science about it for a long time, but I have to tell you my results from it, what I've experienced with my pets, and this is amazing. I can tell you from personal experience that this test does work. It is so amazing. I am so behind this test that I can tell you I am going to get this test for the other 4 dogs that I have. I am sponsored to make this video for you guys, but all thoughts and opinions, as always, are my own, and I just am so excited about this. Probably not all my dogs need it, but I'm still going to get it for all of them as I can. Clark is going to be the next one, and Clark does have allergy issues, so I'm excited to see what his results are. His allergies have never been as bad as Caspian's, and his are mostly on his belly, and I think because he's so low to the ground, if I keep his belly clean, it's a little bit better. But it's going to be really interesting to see what this test has to say about Clark's allergies. This test has just made my life easier. It's made Caspian's life easier. It's made Caspian's life better, because imagine how awful it is to constantly feel sick from what you're eating. And he can't tell me that. And I'm trying really hard to provide my dogs with this great, amazing diet of raw food and just, making it really good for them. And it's making them sick. Oh, that's just... So I'm gonna get all of them tested, and that way I know that what I'm giving them is good for them and good for what they need, because you can get these generic diets for dogs, but you know, it's just like people. Some people can't eat certain food, and that's how dogs are, but they can't tell you that. So this is really, really cool, because now all my dogs are going to get a diet that is what they need on an individual level. If you're having any health issues or allergy issues with your dogs or cats, I very much recommend for you to get this test. It's going to be a lot cheaper than blood work. And I'm probably not supposed to say this, but I think this test is going to be able to save a lot of people money at the vet's office. One of Caspian's vets for his allergies was 6 hours away. So that's a trip over there. That's expenses because it's a specialist, and it's like, I wish I have had this available to me several years ago when I was having all of these problems. So yeah, definitely get this for your dogs. Like, this is just, I just keep thinking about how much money I've spent in vet clinics and didn't get any answers, and people will think that this test is too expensive for their animals. It's a little over $100, but this is nothing when you're thinking about taking your dogs for allergy issues to the vets. There's going to be the fees, there's going to be the medications, and he doesn't even, you know, they don't even need to have the medications if you can figure out what they're allergic to and just not give that to them. So all the information for this allergy test is going to be in the link down below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please let me know if you get your dogs tested. I would love to see what results you guys get. If you're surprised by the results, if you find out something that you thought you already knew, anything, just let me know, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.